quoted to the gentleman in industry and labor, Lord, perform thy will, beginning with me. And that by right of birth and ancestry, their race should rule the world. Quoted to the gentleman in industry and labor, Lord, perform thy will, beginning with me. And that by
See mine? Just spinning. Oh, there we go. Are we back? Hello? Hello? Everybody see us or hear us? I think we're good. There might be too much going on in here. Turn that off. The light? No, oh, TV. That's connected to what? We good? Can everybody see us and hear us? Yeah, no? Looks like it. Oh, my screen is streaming just fine. If you can see us or hear us, we're gonna have a smooth transition one of these days. The last week's was smooth. Everything went off without a hitch. Yeah, Aaron. Yeah, it seems like it's going good now. So let's get into it. You still look concerned. A little bit choppy. Yeah, I do. I feel concerned. We're trying to put on a good show because Iker finally showed up, and now it's just son of a bitch. Are we good now? Okay. I think it. All right. Cool. And see, you can hear it's all dogs. That's all we ask for. That's the bare minimum of each stream. The dogs are always around, and who knows? The window's open, so that damn rabbit might show up again. All right, good. Oh, got yelled. All right. Are we doing the drawing first? Yeah, we'll do the drawing first, but we'll let some folks get in here first if they haven't joined. How is everybody today? We finally got Papa John Iker in the chat. Everybody got their glass of sweet tea on tap for the stream? Oh my gosh. Feel very unsouthern. Yeah, Brad has his own mic. I'm still trying to figure out the mic situation because I've been messing with compressors and noise gates all day and I still can't get it. And perfectly. We're all here to see Scoot's art, so who cares? I mean, we're doing all right. I can actually hear it from the other room. Oh yeah? Yeah, I'm getting a backlash, but that's cool. You won't hear it on the stream. All right, but folks in here, Corey, John Iker finally joined. He's come off his golden pedestal, being up there running with Stegman and stuff, and he's come to us low lives here on the weekly BS stream. He may have an ivory tower, but when he steps down like he did with the Aspen cover, ooh, we all have to stop joking because it's unsettling how good it is. And we got another shout out, by the way, on the Aspen Comics Live on this past Tuesday because I was in there again and Frank said you guys are gonna love the cover that I did, and I always mention in there that it wasn't just me. So he's like, yeah, I inked and colored the hell out of that. You see that it's colored pencils. Yeah, oh my god, Prisma colors like it's 1960. Oh my gosh. All right, you're here for Brad's calves. I got them covered up. Oh, let's show them. Let's show them the calves. Dude, it was leg day today. There they are. Keep those quads. I have to keep the chair in front of it because otherwise I'll have to start streaming on
OnlyFans
or RedTube or something.
Oh, John, good to see you.
Hey, John. Always. Hey, buddy.
Dude, John, I passed my motorcycle course. Time for us to go riding. Well, once I get a bike.
Brad and I have talked a lot over our lives about motorcycling, and I haven't yet. But if he gets a sidecar, you best believe I'm going to be drawing in that sidecar.
Oh, my God. Could you imagine us rolling up to our first Marvel Summit, me balling the bike, you in the sidecar, and they're like, oh, my God, they're the Starnes brothers.
All right, so on the agenda today, guys, first off, we're gonna draw a we're gonna draw a name. I went through and counted the people that entered on YouTube, that entered on Twitter, and the people that entered on Instagram. So if you entered in all three, you got 3 chances to be in there. So we will draw one name, and you will win a Wonder Woman, and Brad will front the costs because Brad's the bank.
Heck
so
yeah. Mom didn't want to do it.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I was messing with her.
All right, so I've got Mrs. Scoot is in the house, and she is always drawing from Captain America. Anytime we have a drawing, she usually draws from our Captain America cookie jar.
That top wasn't open.
So,
oh yeah, no.
So let's get ready. We will draw one name.
All right.
And then, actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll draw one name first.
Captain America,
and then if for some reason, after the name is drawn and I respond to or reach out to them and they don't respond, next stream we'll draw another name until Wonder Woman is gone. So I'm going to step out of the way here, and we will draw a name.
Through him, with him,
Hi,
and in
everybody.
him. Oh, sorry.
Are we drawing now?
Okay, go ahead.
Are we drawing now?
Yep.
Okay.
Take his head off.
Drum roll.
Shake it up really good.
Give me a shake it. I just shook her.
Okay. Grab this. I don't understand this name. I can't read it. Is that a B? Is that, I can't understand your writing.
I don't know what that is either.
BEAUH4112?
Yeah, that's somebody
B-
from Instagram. I think that's Bo412, maybe, I don't know. But I put, you see that little dot? I was smart, and I made sure that I would know where it came from so that I could message them. So,
Okay.
Bo412, I guess that might be how you pronounce it. It may not be, maybe butchering it, but 412 Poet. So I'll reach out to him. So, winner of Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we got a pull from the second place winner. Just all Corey's name for her Wonder Woman 2014.
Is that the only name?
Yeah, that's all.
Well, I'm gonna go. It was nice seeing you guys.
Bye, Miss Scoot.
Thanks, Vanna White. Oh, you unplugged my laptop. It's cool.
Did you?
It's cool. It should be. It's 100%. It should be.
Okay. All right, so just because, here we go. This is the
Wasn't Matt.
this
Yeah.
this is the one that they will win, just in case any of you hadn't seen it.
Yeah, and watch like this guy be from like Paraguay or something.
Yeah. Get ready your wallet, Bradley. All right, so I'll hop back to us for just a second. So what I'm going to be drawing today is a pinup. So we've recently hit a milestone, a good milestone for us, or for myself. Actually, Corey too. I finished page 8/9 finally of our B Movie Saga preview. I guess that's what we can call it, because it's not a full issue, but it's a full story.
It's a full story. Yeah,
It's a full story.
Don't sell it short.
But it's 8/9 pages because of the double page spread. But hey, Bear. Yes, I just finished the pencils, and the beast that Corey is, he's already inked it. So we've hit a milestone. So we thought we may discuss a little bit about B Movie Saga today, for anybody that may be interested about it, kind of where it came from, and Brad's really the brains behind it, so I'll give him a lot to talk about. But I'm going to work on a pinup that I had started originally for the cover. That was a idea of Brad's, which was a cool idea. But we ended up not using it for the cover, but we're going to use it as a pinup inside the book. Yeah, make prints of it. So
Maybe.
So that's what I'm gonna be working on today. It will not be finished. It won't be finished
It's
in
gonna
this.
be a big 11 by 17 thing.
Yeah, it's 11 by 17. So I've actually already blue lined it, just so I'd have a good, because you can't see on the camera when I'm blue lining. So,
So what you're saying is you got a canvas with a nice thin layer of
liquid white.
Liquid white. There
Yeah,
you go.
a liquid blue, and I'm ready to. This is my world. In my world, two humans are in space and they're traveling and they're gonna be just chilling. So,
Yeah. Aaron, when HR signs off on it, Corey's fired. Unfortunately, Corey is HR.
Yeah. And mind you, we didn't promote him. So, but one thing I thought would be cool actually, I didn't run this by you, to show the original drawing that I did of the space duo.
Yeah.
So maybe you can explain it, why you wanted me to draw it.
I was working on the Atlas Beetle. We both were quite a bit, and I was getting into my final semester of school, probably my final 3 semesters of college, and it was just buck wild, just crazy busy. And the Atlas Beetle took a lot of energy, and it took a lot of time, and I had to sit and think about it, and I didn't have that time, unfortunately. So I asked Scoot, I said, man, I've always wanted to do a space story. Can you draw me a pinup of just a male and a female, buff dude, buff chick, both of them sexy, just in their form-fitted suits with the bubble helmets that made no sense from the early 1920s speculative science fiction stuff, old stuff you'd see on Amazing Stories or Strange Tales or whatever those books were called. They're really great, really horribly scientifically inaccurate. And I asked him, he did a pretty cool picture.
So I'm gonna bring up that picture now. So mind you, this was drawn in 2016.
Yeah.
So the first.
So yeah, definitely my senior year. For
yeah,
sure.
it's actually the picture's called the Space Duo because at the time they weren't part of any story. So I'm gonna bring that up right now. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Oh, that was an accident. That was an accident. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please don't unfollow us. Here it is. So
get out of here.
This is actually it.
So I asked him to draw just a picture of them. I think I said put them on an asteroid, draw planets in the back if you want. They have laser blasters. And that's what we went for. And he drew a really cool picture. That's exactly what I wanted. Just improbable, doesn't make sense, just fun. They call it space opera now, but it really is just old school speculative science fiction because it has a root in science fiction, but we're not anchored by it. For example, their ship runs on absurd matter, which is nothing real. It's just a plot device to make them to where they can travel between galaxies. They didn't have names at the time, and I just was kind of, it just gave me something to make ideas up for that were loose and fun, and it kind of evolved into something bigger than that, and I started making more and more progress with it. We kind of hashed out a few ideas of what we'd want to do, and they were still very loose in, I guess, existence. They weren't well developed until God,
Bear, I'm so sorry.
But we actually met the owner of one of the comic shops here when we tricked our way into seeing Spider-Man Homecoming for free, and we met him, and he asked if we had a story, and Scoot and I were kind of working on some stuff, and I didn't really want to debut the Atlas Beetle in an anthology, and so he asked if I had a story, and I said, yeah, I'll have one. So we did the first anthology. By this time, they had names, they had stories, you'll see details I enjoy, on Collins. Of course, Henrietta Collins is the female. On her left shoulder, she has a patch, and being that she's an American, she has an American flag, but as the story developed, it developed around the fact that she no longer calls Earth home, so she doesn't consider the United States her home, so she no longer has her patch on her shoulder. If you ever look, you can look on the picture I posted on Instagram with her character bio. Her patch is gone, but on the same note, Greylays has his French flag, and he keeps it because he misses home. And so small little character things like that came about, and it kind of shows where we evolved, but the root core, the characters are there. There was no 5, 6, 7 drafts of the character. He drew one take. I said, next time you draw him, make sure the patch is removed, and that was it. I mean, we kind of went from there.
Yeah, and since this picture, I haven't really deviated much, except we haven't really shown Collins with the full helmet on. Actually, we haven't shown really either of them with the full helmet on, except for one panel on page 1 of the new one.
I was gonna say, yeah. They will have them.
So you don't see her signature ponytail in this.
She's actually in the entire first arc of the book, the first 3 issues. They don't wear their spacesuits.
Yep.
But,
so that's the first picture I drew of, and I thought it'd be cool to show.
Yeah, it's still a solid piece. I still own it.
Yeah,
I'm
still
never
like
gonna
it.
get rid of
I
it.
like it a
Hopefully, one day when there's like, we're having the Brute Studios art exhibit, and they, you know, we have old pictures up of all of our stuff. This will be up there next to all of Corey's pink slips. I mean, it'll
pink slips, his tickets, the ball and chain attached to his leg. Corey, yeah, it'd be cool to send you. It'd be cool to send you this and have you ink it, because I mean it's never been inked. So
yeah.
This is before we knew that we could find like-minded people out there that would want to work with us. So.
Yeah, and that is to us the craziest thing, because B Movie Saga 1, the first one, which the anthology sold out and people have been asking for it, so we may print it at the back of this one, or we may, yeah, you want to get going, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna get going. You keep talking.
We may just print it on its own again and just kind of make it like a buck comic or something people can buy along with the first one, because it's still a fun story. Scoot's art still holds up. There's a few things like you could tell you weren't as comfortable drawing Greyley, and you've since gotten better at it. There's a few perspective things that, I mean, I can kind of see, but I would never criticize.
Yeah, in that first 5-page story, Greyley's the main one that if I could redo it, I'd go back and change him.
Yeah, and there's like I said, there's people who want it, and so we might do it, but what I want is, because Matt re-inked it, and he did a baller job, and so I want to focus on B Movie Saga 2 right now, and then maybe if Iker, you know, just in his free time between swimming in his mansion pool and running the graphic design for all of Florida, you know, if he wants to color something, he's got that there for him.
So this right here that I'm showing, this is the original one. This is the one I had started originally as the cover to the B Movie Saga 2. I guess we'll have to come up with a different name when we actually have issue 2 come out. But
yeah, like the first one's called The Dog Days of Fall.
Yeah,
and it's just because they were on a planet with the cynocephaly.
So this, yeah, that's how you say that.
Yeah, cynocephaly. Yeah,
I thought it was cynocephaly.
Greek myth of dog-headed people, and then we put it out in the fall, so it's The Dog Days of Fall.
So this is the original one I did, and it's not bad. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad. But I couldn't figure it out a lot. So if you really get in and look at it, there's a ton of eraser marks that just can't go away. Now, granted, there is also a lot of eraser marks on the double page spread, but I will not redo that. So
and Corey did such a phenomenal job.
Yeah, and he got when he inked it, he got rid of all of them.
The only thing we found was he missed a line on one of the sound effects. Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous considering.
And part of Colin's ear.
Corey, how many strokes were in that thing? I mean,
he had one.
Like pen strokes, yeah, not how many you had trying to ink it and see all the lines.
So anyway, this is what I'm going to be redoing. Because I like the idea of them just kind of chilling, having guns out, like, bitch, please. Yeah. But I'm going to redo it because I could do it better. So.
Yeah, which Scoot and I, when we do covers, we discuss them a bit, you know, like what we want to do, how we want to go about them, because in the end, it's really a pinup, so it's his game, but I still might want to convey something story-wise through it. A good example of that is there's an issue of Atlas that I had a cover idea for, where it's basically a bunch of these heroes come together and are making this stand to protect Memphis from people invading. I don't want to give too much spoilers, but on the cover, I always envisioned it of being all the characters, and they're on, it looks just like a raised platform, but what it is a pin, and it's an allusion to how many angels dance on the head of a pin, or can dance on the head of a pin, which the answer to that is as many as needed. And so how many heroes do you need to stop evil? As many as needed. So it's just, to me, like, those are fun ideas to come up with, but at the same time, Scoot, you know, he was doing this one and he's like, it looks good, it's a fun pinup, it doesn't work for a cover. And I agree. He went back and he did the cover. We posted the pencils of that, right? We haven't posted the inks yet. That'll Tuesday, Thursdays.
Hey, if I need to show them, I got them right here in this portfolio.
Don't do that. I need content to post. So
No, I meant the pencils.
oh yeah,
I need to show it again.
so he did a really cool cover, shows both of them, shows them kind of action scene, classic, almost like a movie poster.
That's what I was going
Looks
for.
really exceptional. And it's one of those things where I was like, yeah, you're right. And then I was like, I still want you to finish this pinup because I really enjoyed the idea. I had the idea of Mike Deodato Jr. did a really great cover for, I want to say it's for one of Bendis's new Avengers runs where he showed the Avengers back in like Vietnam or something, but it was basically like the Dirty Dozen where it was all like the villains or Suicide Squad, something like that. So it was like the Avengers in this sense for Nick Fury were like Sabretooth and Craven, Elektra, like a bunch of those people who kind of ride the edge, and they were all sitting on top of one of like sitting and lounging around one of Nick Fury's flying cars, and it's just a super cool because they're all just lounging, looking pretty badass, really fun. And I was like, that would be great. Let's do something like that. And I don't know if I even showed Scoot the picture. He just went with it on his own.
Yeah, I knew the picture, like I knew
Yeah.
of the picture, and but I didn't like reference it when I started drawing it. I started drawing this at the cellar when we were still meeting there.
Yeah, and so we kind of kept with it, and like I said, I guess I leveraged this with saying I gave you the money to do the Aspen cover. Please finish this print. But at the same time, I think it's going to be a cool thing. You know, if people, I don't know about you guys, but man, artist alleys are dangerous. Like you'll go in there and you're like, I'm just going to look around, and you're like, dude, that's a pretty cool comic. Like, yeah, we put out this 8-page comic. You should check it out. I'm like, is that a print that goes with it? Is that this? And you just end up buying like $40 worth of stuff. So that's the hope, is people see the comic, or even a print like that is solid advertising. As we've learned from conventions, is prints are beautiful. And for Scoot, he doesn't sell a ton of prints. He sells original. People want his original art, but the advertisement is there. I think the banner that Valia did for us, that he colored,
Yeah, it stands out.
yeah, it stands out incredibly. And it looks like, I remember when you posted it up and I walked down the aisle and I could see it from either end, and I was like, that just draws your eye in. Looks great, feels great, you know. And so that's what these prints are going to be for. And then, I mean, also selfishly, I'll have another piece of original Scoot art, and my archive has kind of dwindled these days.
Not a person. Do we know you? Have you hopped in here before? I don't remember. If we don't know you, cool, awesome.
And
Join the conversation.
if my character bios were specifically vague on Instagram, because I don't want to use that Instagram as like forced exposition or lazy character development, where I'm just like, hey, well, you should know this because it's on Instagram. So I'll just give a loose overview. But Collins and Greyley, their main thing they do in space is explore. They just want to be explorers. So they go out and they, you know, check out new places. But what they do is, being the only two humans in space, they are neutral. So they act as negotiators for alien races. And like the first arc opens with them doing a negotiation. It gets into their negotiation. It's and so when they negotiate, depending on the situation, like the first one they go to is just kind of like a backwater, and it's in the midst of a like war. So they just go casual and they carry weapons. But when in this story,
Speaking of negotiations, sorry to cut you off, but in the 8-page story we just did, their story that they're telling starts with a negotiation.
well, yeah, they start after they come out of a battle and they don't want to go do anything else, so they just tell this kid this story, and it leads and it talks about this negotiation. But when they do stuff, they actually are like dignitaries. So if they go to a planet and they have to talk to royalty, they dress up. So they're in like military garb, and she's in a long black dress. And part of it is like, why would you put Collins in a long black dress? Like, it's a comic book, why wouldn't you? But it has a functional reason that'll be seen later in the story that you'll get.
Also, explain why she has an eye patch.
Well, we don't, because that's part of a
No,
spoiler.
I meant not why you wanted to see her in an eye patch.
So the eye patch, this story, it came from part from a Fratelli song, some lyrics from a Fratelli song, because almost everything I do references the Fratellis,
including the name of B Movie Saga.
But I was in Hobby Lobby one day, probably buying Scoot Bristol board, to be honest, and I was walking through there and there was this woman, and she was probably mid to late 30s, you know, not an old woman, not super young. I mean, everybody's preference for beauty is different, but she was just a good looking woman, long brown hair, flowing nice, in this like dark red, just kind of like strap dress, flowing nicely, walking around in her heels. Normal as day, just as normal. Just picture a pretty woman, what you believe what a pretty woman, but she had an eye patch on, and she looked awesome. Like, I don't know if she actually was missing an eye or she just wanted to look like a baller, but whatever it was working, and she worked it. And to me, like, I was just like, God, that's cool. Like, kind of how we say we pick up on conversations to build characters, or you'll take a conversation and use it to inform dialogue, is I watch people as they walk and see how they move. And I was like, I want somebody to have an eye patch on. And it only made sense that it would be Collins. And so she gets to walk into this negotiation, and you got to think, like, I mean, we saw Collins before. We've seen pictures of her from the first story. She doesn't have an eye patch. So why is she wearing one now? Why would she be wearing one to a negotiation? And that's where you get into the fun stuff. And Scoot did a great job. We posted that picture where you did the first concept of her with the eye patch.
Mm-hmm.
There was an early version where she has a purse, and it was styled after Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim, but it didn't really work. It had a reason for being styled after that, but gosh, Corey and Ike are laying into each other. Monocle over there, yeah. She's not that fancy, Aaron.
We're gonna have to separate these two in the chat.
I can put them in timeout. I've got the power.
Can you ban them for like 5 minutes?
Put user in timeout. I should have done that as soon as Ike came through the door. But yeah, something a fun thing that's not spoilery. You can kind of see where he started it on the other picture, and he has it on here. But they're staying. Collins and Greyley are posted up on a spaceship, and it's a small spaceship. And what it is a race ship. It's just no like ability to travel through the universe. It's just like a race car, but in space, and it's called the Wonderwell after Aloha Wonderwell, who's this awesome female explorer from like I want to say like the early 20s, somewhere in the 20s or 30s. Did all kinds of cool stuff, like just went on these cool tours and wrote memoirs about them and stuff, like kind of like Marco Polo, but just not lying her whole life. And so she has a race ship because, of course, Collins has a race ship. She likes to go out and, you know, when they explore strange new worlds, and if one of them's having a pod race, she wants to be in it. So kind of an adrenaline junkie compared to Greyley, who's more grounded, though no less formidable.
Yeah, that's what I want people to understand, that Greyley's not like a little bitch.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing is, like, whenever I describe Collins, like, we have a note in every issue that says Collins is angry, and it's not the stereotype, oh, well, she's the strong female character who's angry at everybody. She's got reasons. Her exile from Earth is the reason behind it. Part of it. That's the end story. But her and Greyley are both like military. They're both super smart, and they've been out there for a while, so they're gonna know how to fight. It's like Han Solo didn't go to any. I mean, I guess he went to the Imperial Academy, but he didn't have any of this special like martial arts training or anything. But he still knew how to handle himself in a fight. It's a similar thing. If you go to enough negotiations, and I mean, the first B Movie Saga story, they were in the middle of a failed negotiation, running for their lives, and then you see it's a common occurrence. You know, things don't always break down or don't always go their way, and so Greyley can definitely handle himself. He's just a little more hesitant on the draw. Man, we're gonna really have to separate those three. Aaron's in there egging him on. He's
Hey, are you guys even watching, or are you just boyfriend and boyfriending it up?
I mean, do whatever you want. You're still viewers. While you do, hit the like button.
Yeah, well, go ahead and hit the like button before you two murder each other.
Aaron's in the back like dude, Grandma's boy. Shit week. I'd like to say they're acting out on chat, but this is really what it's like in our private.
This is what our group chat looks like.
Yes. Every once in a while, I'll be like, hey, good inks, guys, and then it's just like people ripping each other apart.
Corey's like, John will be like, I gotta say that looks good, and Corey's like, did you just shit your pants? And then and then it starts.
On his Metamucil or something, whatever we're talking about that day. But yeah, this I guess this pinup takes place in during B Movie Saga 2, since they're in their formal dress.
Yeah, and I thought about originally just putting them back in their regular spacesuits, but I thought if we're gonna put it in that book, it may as well.
Yeah, and then it's good advertising for it. You could have gone so the first issue they're in space casual, so it's just gonna be like their normal stuff they'd wear around, you know. Collins has a leather jacket, Greyley probably, you know, something buttoned up, just something to when they're not in their spacesuits. Because while it's fun and it's easy, we can always do that. Like, God, they spend their time in issue 4 and 5. They're in their spacesuits the entire time. So, you know, there's things like that it's just fun to switch them up and change them. Because
and Brad is talking about future issues. Because how many issues have you written so far?
I'm writing issue 4 at the moment. I'm almost done with 4, and 4 and 5 are a story together, and then 6 is a standalone. And I think like my dream is that issues 1 through 6 would be a trade, and we could do like a Kickstarter for everybody who wants one and get them together. And I think that that's what I would love to do. I mean, that's years off, but I already have like a name picked out for it based on like a poem I enjoy, and that describes them pretty well, and all kinds of fun stuff like that. But it's a good introduction. Like the what's her name, Meredith Finch, talked about what you have to know what your story's doing. And the first story is showing their side as negotiators and introducing the 3 characters, and showing the 3 characters being Collins, Greyley, and Watney. Because kind of like Serenity or Firefly, is I consider Watney a character in it, and which was really interesting because I wanted to avoid stereotypes of mild ship AIs. I didn't want it to be like Hal. I didn't want it to be, you know, the monotone, oh no, there's an intruder. I think the one explicit note is like if he ever talks, he wouldn't have a British accent, because people always give robots and ships a British accent. Like, I don't know why. I guess it works. I guess it's a trope for a reason.
Butler.
But he's also named after Mark Watney, so he needs to have an American accent. And but it's those 3 are the characters. So the first arc is really, it has a point because it builds up some big bads for later, and they're there, and there's a few little Easter eggs and little story seeds for it, but it's mostly just to show you the characters, show what they're capable of, and introduce you to kind of their temperaments. So each one of them, Collins narrates the first issue, Greyley narrates the second, and Watney does the third. And boy, that was fun, because like I told Scoot several times, is Scoot describes knowing characters as he draws them enough to where if I say, draw Collins shocked, he can do it. Show Collins depressed, you know, or even more specifically, like show her sad over the loss of a friend, you know, and you can feel it and he can see it in his head how she would react. And mine is with dialogue, how they sound to themselves and how they sound to other people. You know, my inner dialogue is very different from what you guys hear me say. And so Watney, how do you do that? Because he's not 100% sentient. So how does he act? Is he allowed to show emotion? Is he allowed to think creatively? Does he have to just follow orders? And how would a ship act if it was mostly sentient? So I found, I guess I'll say, it's not like it's a spoiler, but I ended up writing him like a needy dog, like a needy pet dog, who just, when his 2 humans leave, he's just like waiting at the door whining. And I think it came out really fun because when they come around, all he wants to do is hear stories from him. He wants to, you know, wants to make them happy, but he also will bite them every once in a while, metaphorically.
No, tell story.
Yeah, no, yeah, like Grimlock, like, no, tell story. So it was really I think it's a fun idea. The dialogue for him, he only has a little bit of dialogue in the first 2 issues, and then because he's completely absent from the second issue, and the third issue he comes back with a vengeance. And of course I'm reading my own stuff, and I guess you like your own smell, but I really think it turned out well. I think it made a smooth transition, and then allowing him to narrate the other 2's actions made for some interesting, fun ways to carry exposition rather than just have Greyley all the time saying, I'm moving down this hallway, I'm about to go fight these people, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. It's more him talking abstractly about what he thinks they're doing and how he's figuring it out based on his knowledge of their characters and their action, their past actions. It's a fun thing. I think if that's Dave Philpott talked about that. Him and I
Thanks,
were talking
Aaron.
on Instagram.
Thanks for
about,
listening.
Yeah, about how you have to get to know your characters and do dialogue dumps. And I've got huge things with dialogue of all three of them talking that have nothing to do with anything. You know.
Speaking of Dave Philpott, he followed me today.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
On Insta or Twitter?
Instagram.
Nice. Yeah, him and I are. I'm trying to be good buds with him. He's a good guy, and I like him because he's just hype about comics. He was like, I don't know if I'm the right person to do this, but who wants to talk about writing? And I was like, please God, talk about writing. I mean, I love it, and it's not like Scoot's a bad partner to talk about writing, but
I'm not a writer. So.
Yeah, he's not a writer. I mean, it's like him talking about like, dude, check out this perspective. I did like my brain can't comprehend it. So cool. I mean, it's finding someone who speaks your language, and so talking to him a lot. We were talking about trigger songs, like creating habits, and I was talking about how Ilma D by Mika is my trigger song. Like I turn it on, and it's like the Winter Soldier. I'm just ready to sit down and write. So kind of like the Winter Soldier, just lame.
Kind of like Taylor Swift with me and drawing.
Oh yeah. Or
Happy Cosmos.
Happy Cosmos, yeah. Itty bitty window. What else can we talk about? I mean,
yeah, I can't really talk much about the story, but
yeah, I don't want to spoil too much. Of course, like I said, they're exiled from Earth. It's something I'm gonna annoyingly tease for a while. I just told Scoot before we started that I'm finally gonna tell the origin story. I always had the origin story plotted in my head because I think it's one of those things.
And he's never told me.
I've told you before. You just keep forgetting.
I forget a lot. I'm old.
But I planned the origin story way ahead of time. I had no plans to ever tell it. But the more time went on, there's little bits of dialogue I drop in there about like their friend they lost before they left and maybe what they did. And some of the aliens seem to have an idea, like the alien races they encounter seem to have an idea of what happened on Earth. They got those two exiled. And I think it would be a disservice to not tell it eventually. I mean, I guess if we get fans, like if we suddenly have people who are back in a Kickstarter and we've got, several trades out, people can be like, dude, you have been teasing this since issue 1. Because literally, like, Collins, her, like, page 3 or 4, she makes a crack about being exiled from Earth, and it's super, super vague. And even subtle things like only I will realize until people read it a billion times they might, is, like, Collins never refers to Earth as home because she doesn't care anymore. She doesn't consider it home, while Greyley refers to it as home all the time. And I figured out a place to put it to also seed an idea I had later. But I still just, like, my plan was, like, I only wanted to show 2 humans. So if we do the flashback, it'll clearly be on Earth. So you'll get a bunch of humans. So it's fun. I think it'll be a good place to put it with Koyame's arc. Yeah. There's I don't think we've shown Koyame yet.
No, haven't.
Let me look on Insta, because if not, she'd be a good post.
I think I may have posted it on one of
my. Because. Let me see. I don't remember what I did what we posted. Yeah, I'll have to post up Koyame soon. So she's an alien that spends a little time with them eventually, and she has a whole, like, she's gonna be, like, I call it a mega arc, where she'll have her arc that brings her in, and then she'll stay with them for a while as a supporting cast, and then move on. But it's yeah, Aaron, what color is their blood?
That's a John Iker question.
Yeah, Aaron, you're right. There's fun ways to hide exposition, and the like Watney in issue 3 talking about his two friends, because it's not like he wouldn't call them like his masters or anything. He just calls them Sir and Man. But it's fun to speculate like that, because. And sort of, gosh, the B Movie Saga 2 is a flex of exposition, because it doesn't spoil anything, but the story, that we're telling is told 3 times. It's told from each main character's point of view. So what you get is you get information about every single character and every single interaction from someone's point of view. And it's the same as like if Scoot and I go running or something, or we're out biking and a dog chases us, I might tell the story and be like, oh my God, we were powering around the corner going like 50 on our bikes. Scoot screams like a girl, sees his dog running, and I'm taking off. And I'm like, dude, it's not that big of a dog. And he's halfway down the block. But when Scoot tells it, he'd be like, man, we were out biking today at a good pace. Here comes this gigantic dog. Brad didn't taking it seriously, and he's about to die, and I'm trying to push him out. So it's like
this giant gorilla dog
like,
thing that ate one kid already.
I think Scoot's being overreactive and panicking, and Scoot thinks I'm being reckless. So it's something you can inform a story from points of view, and that's what B Movie Saga 2 is. It is an 8-page story with the same story told quickly 3 different times, and I think it's super fun. I think that you can watch Greyley and see how Collins reacts in his story compared to how she acts in her own story and learn something about them. And I don't know if that's too deep, like maybe that's too deep for our second anthology style story, but I love that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean that's in B Movie Saga. If I've never mentioned, the Atlas Beetle has a set of rules. It's called Conceptual Pitfalls that I have a list of rules, and they're rules I cannot break. And it's fun. It's a good thing to do when you write, is to limit yourself in some way. Sometimes, you know, like in Atlas, there's things like no time travel, no multiverse, because I don't think, being an indie comic, we need to jump into a multiverse. We need to focus on these one characters. There's certain characters he'll never team up with, because I don't want it to be where you're like, yeah, Captain America stands on his high horse, but he's also teamed up with Doctor Doom. Like, at a certain point, Marvel can survive a multiverse. Marvel can survive every team up imaginable because it's this Goliath. But then B Movie Saga was made to have no rules. The only rule it cannot, or that it has, is like grandfathered in, because the Atlas Beetle is its own universe. So B Movie Saga and it exist outside of each other. So its only rules that it can't overlap with the Atlas Beetle. So it's fun because I can just do whatever I want. Like, I can tell Scoot, like, well, I want Greyley to have a beam sword. And, like, I have this whole idea of him going on like a space Arthurian quest to help, you know, these knightly aliens that are gone, and he'll get a beam sword out of it. And, you know, things like that. You really, it's just have the most fun you can with, you know, the unlimited budget. You know, you don't have a sci-fi budget. You don't need to. This isn't going to be a story where you hear them sitting in. They're not going to sit around in their spaceship and talk about their feelings a lot. They're going to be shooting stuff. They're going to be flying. They're going to be rescuing stuff. They're going to see like crazy aliens. It's going to be a lot of fun, as much fun as possible.
And I think it's one of the reasons, because for a while now, I've known that I was going to be wrapping the pencils on that, because it just started out as an anthology story, and we were just going to be like, all right, we'll do this just so we can have something else out, and then we'll move on to Atlas. And I've been, you know, racking my brain saying, do I want to do Atlas or do I want to do B Movie Saga? And ultimately I went with B Movie Saga because of the no rules thing. Plus, right now, I feel like I know the characters better. Not to say Atlas is dead, because it will see the light of day sometime.
Oh yeah. We talk about it all the time.
There's a lot, yeah, that's gone into that. But with B Movie Saga, it is fun to kind of just let loose. Like, if I draw something, I can say, oh, I don't really need to explain why I did that. There it is, and then Brad can explain it if he wants.
Yeah, Barry, you're right. Exactly like Megatron's, where it's like the hilt is all that exists, and it looks like a regular sword hilt, but he's got a beam that comes out of it. Yeah, and I think I told Scoot, I was like, I am ready to write whatever series. Atlas, I'm writing issue 10 of Atlas, and I think what we always said is we would start writing B Movie Saga, or when he decided on that, I said, cool. At least you can do the first 3 issues, and I mean, what if we were writing issue, like we're on issue 2, and Aspen Comics is like, hey, we're going to publish this. Like, sweet, we just stick to B Movie Saga. Or what if, you know, some crazy scenario where we start getting tons of followers and they're like, we want more B Movie Saga. Scoot, just stick to B Movie Saga.
Yeah, because
at the same time,
they're super fun to draw. And Atlas is a superhero comic, and that's the stuff that I love to draw. But with this, it's really, really making me learn humans, because that's way harder to draw than a guy in a helmet.
Yeah, and then but we also said like if we start B Movie Saga and we get a good head of steam, but Scoot wants to pass it off to someone else,
That would be the one.
we could, yeah, he could pass it to someone else and we start doing the Atlas Beetle. Like maybe we're making enough money where Scoot can pass it off to someone else, we can keep it going, and then he can start this, and we can be like, here's our superhero story we've been waiting for. Giant size, or I guess it'd be Titan sized issue number 1 since Atlas is a Titan.
And he says making enough money because we're in this for the money.
Yeah,
Just the money.
clearly in it for the money. But that's how it is. And I mean, we have a dream artist that we would have draw this. Not like David Fincher draw this if Scoot stepped away, but a person in our orbit, in our comic orbit, that I would love to hire to do B Movie Saga if Scoot ever stepped down and started doing the Atlas Beetle. So it's all speculative, much like our favorite science fiction at the moment, but I think it's gonna be fun. I don't think anybody, like, man, we love superhero stories, but I don't think anybody's gonna, hopefully people will read the first arc of B Movie Saga and be like, yeah, I wasn't cheated, this was awesome. And I know Corey's on board. We'll have to double his salary, so let me do the math real quick. That's 2 times 0. Nope, still 0. But we have to, hopefully Iker would be on board, because God, like, his colors, his flats looked better than the original colors he did on the cover. Like, that's how much better he gets every time he does something. And I wouldn't be surprised if somebody saw this book and was like, who's your colorist? We want to hire them. I wouldn't even be jealous.
I'd be for it.
I would be fist pumping. I would do, champagne. We pour Gatorade over them. Whatever we had to do, it would be awesome. I'll message you, Aaron. I think eventually we'll need more. I won't be the only writer of Brute Studios at some point. So we'll need more people to write stories, and anybody who wants to develop a logo, we're on that.
Yeah, as much as I like to draw, I'm not a graphic designer.
Yeah. No, Aaron, you are an artist. It's dude, if I come up with a story, I can come up with a story. We can start doing little 5-page stories or 2 or 3-page stories to get going and come up with an idea and get it rolling. It'd be fun too, because since you're a writer, it could kind of be like when they used to do like old Spidey stuff, and like Tom DeFalco and JR would be credited as story, and then JR would take the art credit, so it's like I could take it, because writing a story with just an artist like Scoot will give me feedback. Scoot will change stuff in the script as needed, but he runs everything by me. And like working with an artist writer is way different, because they'll be like, hey, what if we did this instead? And I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. And as I mentioned in our preview from Tuesday, our Wednesday post on accident, the best idea should always win. So even if I was just pitching an idea, like say me and Aaron are just workshopping one day, just having fun, I was like, dude, I got this idea for B Movie Saga, here's my blah blah blah, and I give him a 20-minute explanation of this arc, and he goes, well, what if you did this? As long as he doesn't care, and if it's a better idea, I'm taking it, because that's what you should do. I mean, there's a whole villain, Bad God, one of our villains in one of our godlike villains in the Atlas Beetle, completely changed from talking to my ex-girlfriend. I was just pitching her the story, and she's like, I have a few ideas, and I was hitting me with them. Changed who I thought about it. Changed the way I thought about that villain completely. And yeah, be fun for a while. Yeah, I've been trying to I've got to get Iker. Iker has been pretty cool about helping me out. I always, like, it's almost a joke, like, you have graphic design friends, so you beg them for free help. And I've got to get him some ideas of logos I want, because we need a Brute Studios one, because I got another comic with another guy coming out it'll be published through his company, but it'll be in association with Brute Studios. So I have a little something else out there. Anything to add, Scoop?
I draw the pictures, and sometimes I run things by Brad and I say, hey, what if I did it this way instead, as far as a panel? Because a lot of times with the panels, Brad will have them in his head what he wants it to look like, and obviously, the arts. Everybody says the art's the biggest thing, but the artist, even though it is the big thing everybody sees, they're drawing for the writer. They're trying to help the writer tell the story that they want to tell.
Well,
but it's my job to make it interesting.
You know our motto: "Come for the art, stay
Come
for the art,
stay for the art." But there's plenty of times, even in this 8-page story, that I had to run it by Brad, and I would say, all right, I see what you're going for, but I don't know if I can make that work. What if we do this? And like he said, he posted that panel. Was that this week?
Yeah. I posted it Wednesday.
He posted
it Tuesday, so I posted it.
Yeah, he posted it this week. So that literally was me saying, I understand what you want, and I think it's cool what you want. I don't know how I can make it work in this space. And so I said, let me try some things. And then it ended up working the way that I wanted to do it.
Yeah, it was originally just a long panel, just Collins, and how he did it. Her face is great. It shows what's going to happen. The action with Greyley moving you can't see it as much because we cropped some stuff out of it that we didn't want to spoil. But when you see the page, it feels like Greyley is on the move and Collins is right behind him. And that's one of the things Scoot did so well in this is that we've talked about it before, that the action in comics happens in the gutter between panels, and Scoot's gutter movement on that page is incredible. Like how it just moves and flows is really great. And I don't think you've ever said, hey, can I change this? And I've pushed back. I don't think there's ever been anything that you did that detracted from what I had in my head. So I mean, and
it's almost kind of spoiled me to a point to where, like, if I ever have to go work with another writer, am I gonna feel constrained?
Yeah, and working with Dale was like that. When I first started working with him, I was like, I'm not used to this. Usually I present a story and you accept it, you'll give a little feedback here and there, but he will completely rework a story with me. And like part of me, I had to swallow my pride when I first did it. First of all, why do I have any pride? I'm just I'm a no name, so I shouldn't take any of this stuff. I shouldn't be like think I'm on a high horse or anything. But he pushed back and he changed. I pitched him an 8-page story once about based on a piece of art he had, and it's eventually what we ended up with now. This story we're telling, but it's completely different from my original pitch, and that doesn't make it that doesn't mean anything. Actually, it's so much better, and it gives me so much more room for character development and so much more room for storytelling. And he came up with a simple idea. I don't want to spoil it because it would be a huge spoiler in the comics when it comes out. And I like to pretend that all of you remember everything I say, and will one day read the comics.
And you're gonna buy everything. Hello, Dragon Queen.
Hello, Dragon Queen. Do we know you? Do I have asked that before? But he came up and he said, Brad, what if we did this with this character? And I was like, huh, that sounds fun. And then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, that is an exceptional idea. How did I not think of that? And that's the fun with working with other people is Scoot probably has a lot of comfort working with me. And that doesn't mean his work's not good, but he works with somebody who doesn't know. He's going to work even harder.
Yeah.
I mean,
again, I put everything I had into that 8-page B Movie Saga story, and I'm very much gonna try to best that going into B Movie Saga 1. But working on that Aspen cover, man, I put so much pressure on myself because I knew a legit comic company that has a history and has a fan following was going to be looking at it.
Yeah, I was just happy to be involved in that in any way possible, which was just being hype with you guys.
And still hype.
Corey did the traditional inks, then turned around and did the digital inks in like 30 seconds. Like, it was impressive. But man, like today, like I said, I think we mentioned this last week, because I always wanted to do an 8-page story, do the 8-page story full color, and then cut to the pencils so that people could look at those. Because so Scoot can go, hey, comic recruiter, here's my art. Because there are a lot of artists who have been saved by their inker and colors. I mean, and I want people to know that that's not Scoot. The inks and colors definitely enhance it. definitely add something to it. But his pencils alone are amazing. So, but now, like I said,
You
I
hear
wanna,
that, Corey? I
may end
don't
up being
need you.
like a 30-page comic so that we can put pencils, inks, and colors in there and kind
Oh,
of
you work
develop
with
it.
me? Who are you? I need to know who you are. Because whoever you are, I'm going to start calling you that at work now.
We can't. Scoot did a little side picture, and Corey's comment about rendering on it has had me bust up. When he gets to post it, you guys will know. We'll have to tag Corey in because Corey's snide comment was so on point. And so I mean,
Corey, you'll always have a job with me because I don't ink anymore.
yeah,
I'm above that. I'll let
you saw that
lowly.
he was he. It's kind of like when people hear I run like long distances, like, yeah, I'm just going out for a casual 12 miles, and they're like, wow, that sounds torturous. And I'm like, it is, it's great. Is when Corey started with Spider Gwen, and you're just like, oh, this guy is a glutton for punishment.
What a chump. Let's
It's Kimberly, Scoot.
Oh, hey Kimberly.
Hey, Kimberly. I don't know you. I'm Scoot's younger brother.
That's Brad.
Yeah. We're only a year and 6 apart, though.
And I was like, let's befriend this chump and
Yeah.
let's make him ink my work forever for free.
Yeah, it's a good it sounds like a toxic, chaotic work environment, but it's
really not.
yeah, or if it is, it's still producing good results. So
Yeah.
Haha, take that, Google. We don't need beanbags in open air. We just need insults and, you know.
Although I do have an adult beanbag that I never sit in.
Corey's been pitching this idea of everybody just moving to Iowa, and we have this giant compound of people where we just kind of raise our own food and take care of ourselves, so we don't need jobs, and we just make comics full time when we're not out, I guess, sowing the fields and wrangling the basketball team.
I mean, is that Ashley?
It is.
Hey,
Ashman.
hey, what do you think about moving to Iowa?
I would divorce you. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend Corey, but I'm gonna have to travel to America. Literally, Iowa. I thought I was gonna die driving through that state. Like, there was no restaurants. I couldn't eat for like 3-4 hours.
It's true.
We were just driving through cornfields, and
If you drive through now, you can stop and see
it
Corey.
was the most boring state. But Corey, I would come just for. If you wanted to, if we planned to come visit or something, I would come. If it wasn't for you.
Hell no, we won't go. All right, so she's out, so I guess I'm single now. I'm in, guys. Let's do it.
Leroy.
That is Sophie's beanbag.
There's been various talks about faking our deaths too, because like Scoot's my beneficiary, so if I croak, he'll get enough money that he could draw for like 2-3 years without a job.
And I've said it before. I think for me to make it as an artist, I think I could make it happen to where I could live off of it. I could make it happen in a year.
Oof.
Oh yeah, no.
Is that where the Knoxville Nationals were?
Yeah.
I always thought they were in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Nope.
What?
Yeah.
Mind blown.
Oh, this
was,
is Mama Starnes in here as
yeah.
well too. She's here. She brought us dinner tonight.
Oh, and it was awesome. Salmon, what were those, seared vegetables, and sweet tea. Oh, there was chicken as well.
She ain't coming in here, but I'll move the camera. Corey, this would be the one that would take care of the basketball team at a convention for you if you can.
She wrangled 5 of her own, and we weren't really rambunctious, but there were still 5 of us.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Bring 'em.
But we told him.
Yeah.
When conventions start back up.
Yeah. Hopefully, Dad never shows up on stream. That would be super weird.
Ugh.
But we had 2 parents who always supported us, so
Yeah.
a lot of parents won't. We hear about people like, oh, our parents never did that, and Scoot's like, I want to draw. They couldn't afford a lot, but they still bought them pencil and paper. And,
I mean,
shoot, half the times Dad brought home, he stole paper from the copy machine.
copy machine, yeah, dude. And I would always draw a picture. I'd be like, can you take this and make a copy of it? And he'd bring me like 100 copies of whatever I drew back.
Yeah, we draw pictures and then get him to copy them and then color them and stuff. And
But speaking of parents supporting you, so I've explained it to a few people, but in my life, the first thing I wanted to be was a comic book artist, and then I moved away from that. What'd she think? Okay. So I moved away from that. I, did I hit the button? No, I didn't. Okay, I thought I hit the button. Sorry. But I wanted to be a comic book artist first. Then after that, I wanted to be a professional skateboarder, and they supported me in that. And then after that, I wanted to be a rock star, and they supported me in that. So, and then here we are. I'm back to wanting to be a comic book artist again. So it comes full circle. But never once did they tell me not to go and try to achieve that nonsense. So
yeah, and I mean, like I said, your Fender is not like a world class guitar. It's
isn't.
But I mean,
I love it.
they bought us what they did, and like you always have those touching moments in shows where like the dad finds his son and he's like, "I'm proud of you," and the son gets all choked up, and I'm like, "What's the big deal? Mom and Dad tell us they're proud of us all the time."
All the time.
What is this nurturing, loving relationship we have with our family? Bear said only one parent supports us now. Said Dad does the father-son Kamehameha.
Oh, nice. You said Dad's Goku?
Oh
That's
man,
awesome.
well, he did punch people until he
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
was bedridden.
Our dad is what I imagine Corey's going to be like in an old age.
Oh man, I had to punch him. Why? He called me a son of a bitch. Like, what?
My mom's not a bitch.
Well, so here's a story. Our
It's a
dad,
fun story.
our dad came from a rough and tumble. Like he came from like the '60s. He grew up in the South in the '60s, where it literally sounds like something out of like that '70s show or gosh, Dazed and Confused, where he's like, yeah, we used to just cruise around in our Chevys, and we'd stop at the little like I don't know what they were, but they're like Sonic. They're like drive-ins. He's like,
Yeah.
we'd go there and we'd get our milkshakes or our limeades, and we'd hang out and talk to girls and sneak a little drink. And he's like, and every once in a while we'd fight, and he would just tell all these stories. And we're like, all right, I'm sure he had everybody confirmed. We never thought he was lying about these stories. But one day, Scoot and I, God, what were we like? 22,
We were
23.
yeah.
We were adults.
This was semi
Still living
recently.
at home, but we were sitting at home
Oh, the
playing
days.
Super Smash Brothers Melee, not getting into any trouble, being good kids. Our dad comes in and he holds his fist out like he's got the Infinity Gauntlet. He holds it up, and we're just kind of playing. We had a rule like you don't pause Super Smash Brothers Melee. You finish the match.
Mm-hmm.
But we kind of look because he's standing there and look, and there's just like blood going down his hand. And I'm like, Dad, what happened? He's like, I had to hit a motherfucker. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, some guy cut me off on my way back, trying to get into or cut me and this lady off trying to get into a gas station. So I drove up there and started yelling at him. He called me a son of a bitch, and nobody calls my mom a bitch. I'm like, you're 72. Like, why
Yeah.
are you punching people? Like, he was still out rough and tumble. And me and Scoot over here, like, super nerds, sitting in beanbags with our Mountain Dew and Doritos. Not really, because we don't drink soda, but
Yeah.
sitting there just like, well, we've never been in a fight. We're 22, 23.
Hey, Hayashi.
Yeah, so yeah, our dad was definitely a rough and tumble guy.
Hello, Field. Am I saying that right? Howdy.
Hayashi, you missed quite a bit, but you can always go. It's mostly just me rambling about story and stuff.
Yeah, because we're getting close to where B Movie Saga is gonna start ramping up as far as us trying to promote it.
And I've been doing that. I've been trying to keep the 2 posts.
Yep.
Which in that regard, anybody ever has ideas for content, I'm always trying to come up with stuff without spoiling. So we've got a few characters we're going to show off, some ideas, some early sketches. We'll probably throw some Atlas stuff in there too, some ideas we've had, just stuff you'll see come down. I think it'd be fun. Like, here's this villain we came up with, and then when we finally get to Atlas, it might be different. I might throw some writing stuff in there just because I want to kind of cultivate a writing community as much as we have all these really talented artists.
Yeah, that'd be super cool.
Right now, I talk to Aaron about stories we come up with, and that's about it. Yeah, Dad fought enough for all of us. Yes.
I've yet to be in a fight in my whole life.
Yeah, no, like that's my thing. Is like people are like, oh man, you go to the gym, you run a lot, I bet you're good in a fight. I was like, I don't know, I've never been in a fight. Like if I'm by myself, and so I've had people come up to me and try to start a fight, and I just run because they can't catch me. Like, I'm fast. So why am I going to get into a fight and get punched? Like, I get one punch and I lose my glasses. I'm not going to be able to see. I'm going to get whooped. I'm not looking to get my face beat in.
Yeah.
I'm going to run and I'm going to get away.
I am about to punch somebody and break my knuckle and not be able to draw for a year.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God. So on 4th of July, have we talked about this?
I don't
So
think
I
so.
have a thing where I told Scooty he needs to be like a fencer. When he's barbecuing or cooking, he needs to have his right arm behind his back, grilling with his left hand, because his right arm is the money maker. That is what he gets art done with. And I know you said if you lost your right hand, it wouldn't matter because you would figure out how to draw with your left. It would take you
It
a
takes
decade
a lot of
to get this
work.
good again.
It's a lot of work.
We're out here on 4th of July, and we've always played with Roman candles. We're American. We run and shoot fireworks out of our hands while bald eagle soars above us. We do it right.
Do it right.
This man is out there holding and there's always the chance that something can backfire and blow up. Man is holding a giant Roman candle in his right hand. I scolded him. Like, I
He
called
yelled
his
at me
hand a
like
cookie jar.
he wrote me up and contacted Corey and got approved by HR.
I was so upset. I was like, yeah, we got to reprimand him. Like, because all we needed was one dud in that thing to detonate. And then, so Scoot's hand's burned and he won't finish his double page spread for a year now because he has to rehabilitate. Especially after you burned your hand grilling that once when it exploded on you. You'd think you would learn. Like,
That was
you need an
ridiculous.
UGG glove on the entire time, like a gauntlet.
My arm still doesn't grow hair right here.
And that doesn't sound like much, but for a Starnes kid,
That's a lot.
that's a lot. We grow hair. We do two things well: grow hair and sweat.
Yeah,
And,
I thought about after my hand got burning my whole body the same way.
Hollowfield, it seems like everybody knows you, but I don't. Hollowfield, excuse me.
Yeah, do I know you?
If I don't know you, throw up your Instagram tag and we'll follow because we always like if you're into making comics.
We like the people.
Oh, which dang. We're gonna do a little shameless promoting here. Let's see. So, our friend Dwayne, who did the main intro music here
And the outro.
and the outro, excuse me, single-handedly responsible for me finishing school papers because I'd listened to his music while I wrote papers for college. I'm gonna throw his name up in the chat. He just released his first single. It's he does lots of good beats and just songs and stuff. I'm not sure if he has singing in any of them, but they're really solid, really fantastic concentration music. I've already been writing to a single. His new album he has a whole album that's going to drop soon.
Yeah. His latest single, I have links to it in the description.
Yeah, and there's links to it. And it's just kind of a thing like Dwayne's also an artist. He draws. He's got a 3D printer. He had a 3D printer before everybody did.
Yeah,
He had one in,
before
like,
it was the thing.
2008. We were like, how do you print something 3D? We can't even get our printer to print Scion. Like,
Yeah.
and like, so he just put out some stuff. He got approved. He's on Spotify and all that. Super cool. And it's one of those things where I think about all the time. Like, we'll talk about comics and stuff, and I'll run ideas by him because
He's a big comic fan too.
he's a big comic fan, but he's creative. And if you ever know, like, your people don't have to be comic creators. You just surround yourself with creative people and you will feed off of each other's energies. And that's Dwayne. I mean, he already looped back in where I'm just sitting here listening to this music, just generating ideas because it's just that good. And so, I mean, give him a follow if you like that kind of music, or give him a follow just to be nice to us. He's our friend and we try to support him.
Yeah, like I said,
And-
the music that I have on the beginning and the ending of the stream, is not it's his music, but it's not in the links that I sent because he's doing some new stuff, and the link is to his newest single. And yeah, you should have a whole album dropping soon. Again, it's not singing or anything. It's all lo-fi beats and sampling and something he does on a machine that is beyond me. So, and I play guitar and stuff. So.
Yeah, so I mean, Scoot, that's where Scoot can connect with him. I'm sure you guys can make music together if you wanted.
When he brought over his little beat machine or whatever it's called. I don't know what the hell it's called, but
yeah, I'm not sure. what
but
the
we
thing
hooked up
is.
my guitar to it.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
I've been wanting him to do a at Hallowfield. Man, I'm not finding you. I'm finding some weird like food blog. I'm assuming that's not you. Oh, Maybe that is.
Let me find you real quick.
Is that a Dachshund? Is your... I see the ink over Ryan Stegman. Please tell me that's your... Because there's a Dachshund as your profile pic, and if so, we just became best friends.
Oh, wait, no. I like right before we started the stream. Is it Hallowfield? Am I saying that right? Hallowfield?
Oh, Skeevo!
Hey, Esquivo, what's up, man?
Gabe, I believe.
Gabe, yep. But yeah, no, if I'm saying that right, Dan Hallowfield. Yeah, I saw that you inked my Death Shroud pencils.
What?
And it's pretty freaking righteous. Like, it looks awesome.
That's just your last name? What a baller last name.
Yeah. Yeah, are you the one that's been doing the learning to inks every day? Or every so often? I think I don't follow, you know? Yeah, well, I'm following you now, so.
Yeah, I'll get your dog Cadmus. Oh my god. So we have a long history of dachshunds. This has nothing to do with comics.
Who cares? It's a good story.
Yeah, we've had a long series of dachshunds in our family, but I had a dachshund named Nacho for 14 years, and the best friend a guy could ever ask for. Sweet as could be. He could spoon. He ruined future significant others for me because none of them could spoon like he can. That little wiener
thanks, man.
would just cuddle up and keep you
that
warm
little
in
wiener.
winter.
That little wiener.
God, he was classic. Unfortunately we lost him in 2016.
If there's anything the Stars boys know, it's little wieners. So.
And so yeah, but dachshunds are lovely. Every time I'm out running, I love seeing dogs, but if it's a dachshund, I stop and say hello because that's the one I'm gonna. It's I don't know. I just love dachshunds. They're loving. They're yappy little bastards. When they want to be.
There's an old couple that lives in my neighborhood, and they have a long-haired dachshund. It's adorable. Every time I'm out riding my bike.
The Barnes brothers when we moved to Iowa. Wasn't the first time we got called Barnes.
Hey, but Bucky Barnes. That's good.
That's
Dwayne.
Hang the Conqueror who just jumped in. That's
Hang
that's our
Malima.
friend who makes music.
Yep,
His name's Dwayne.
He goes back. His stage name's King Duppy. I've always meant to ask where King Duppy came from. That was a Splatoon name too. If any of you out there play Splatoon or Mario Kart, we're gonna have to do that one day.
I'm playing. Yeah. Oh, we get enough followers where we can do like some people who just stream video games sometimes. Like,
man, that'd be fun.
They would have to put a parental advisory on our Mario Kart. It gets intense.
Oh, dude, it gets something else.
That's a different Scooty Squad. Yeah, Aaron, if you've never spooned with the dachshund, you're missing out. Like, I used to have one, though, would just sleep on my back. Like, that was really comfy, too.
Buddy?
Oh, yeah.
Man, what a good dog.
Yeah. But Nacho and Scoot's cat Murph were born the same year, and so Nacho died in 16 at 14, and
Murph is still alive.
Murph is 20, like almost 20.
He's almost 20 years old.
So, he's lovely, yeah.
And he screams every night. He's deaf now, so basically he just screams to get what he wants.
Dude, you would not imagine how fast a damn dachshund could be. Their legs are an inch long. They make up like a 17th of their body mass, and they can haul oats, man. They just go. We had a bookstore here, a local bookstore that unfortunately went out of business. And when I was leaving, I see these people like ducking and dodging around their cars, and I'm like, are they about to break into a car? And I walk around like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, we're trying to catch this dog. And I see this like dachshund darting under cars and running from them, and they were scared of him. And they're like, he eventually sprinted off, and these people were, bless their hearts for trying to help, but they were not sprinters. And so I ended up like throwing my books into their arms. Like I had like 12 books. I'm like, here, hold these, and like sprinted after this dachshund. Just got ahead of it to keep it out of the road, and it took me like 10 minutes to catch that little bastard. Like, he was quick, and then it was the owner's dog, so he was very happy that I saved him. Oh, he sleeps on your chest.
That's where my cat Murph, he sleeps on my chest or my back. He's pretty considerate. It depends on which way I'm laying.
He's
And then most everybody that's tuned in every week knows Sophie and Russell.
She's
and
unruly
Abby.
and therefore cannot be ruled. Gosh, found a new best friend. Got dachshunds and ink stuff.
Your description, Hallowfield, should say, I ink stuff. I have dachshunds.
Yeah.
The dachshund inker.
Docs all day. Also, Had a little doxy. I wanted to do a for years. I've talked about making an Instagram since I've got one where all I do is when I'm out running, if I see a dachshund, I stop and take a picture with it, and so it'd be like me running, and there's these dachshunds, and I'd call it dock speed, like Mach speed.
Nice.
I gotta pull the trigger because it would also give me the excuse to just approach people like, "Can I take a picture with your dog?"
You should follow me on Instagram. It's gonna blow up, be bigger than mine. People love animals, man. Which I do too.
Dwayne said Duppy is in a Jamaican ghost.
Oh, cool.
He said I used to run Boo in Mario Kart, so
Ah, makes
I
sense.
I never even thought of that. Are you kidding? You run King Boo.
I never
on
knew
that.
who you play with, Dwayne, because you're always behind me.
Dude, Skivo, wait till you see the work. I mean, granted, I'm biased as hell because he's working on a comic with us, our original characters, but his inks, he dropped the last page today,
Oh,
and
my again,
the day job.
again, it's my first ever double page spread. And
Yeah.
and going back to our conversation earlier, that's one of those things where I sent Brad a text one day because I was reading it, and I just said, "What do you think about making that last page 2 pages so I have more real estate to make it a more banging page?" And we did it.
yeah, and I was like, I remember because I was backpacking through Mammoth Cave, and I got like a text somehow, and I saw it, and I started writing down like ideas and talking points and things I could do with the extra space, and then in the end, all I texted you was, "Why do you want to do it? What do you need from me? Anything extra?" And I'm not paying you more.
Yeah,
And that's
he did.
all, and you were like, "Nope."
And
nope,
and
cool."
let me say this for the record. So Brad is my brother. We've been tight our whole lives. Like, we make comics together. We shared a room till we were 25 or something like that.
I think we
No,
24.
yeah.
I guess like 23, 24.
Something like that. We skateboarded together, whatever. We've done everything together. This man still paid me for every page I drew. So if he hires one of you guys out there to be an artist for him, you will get paid.
And I've tried to pay Corey. He won't accept it.
He only
Oh.
accepts corn.
I have been trying to. I still. The offer's there. I'm still gonna say it is. Whenever you find the printer you want, I will help you buy your printer because I want to do something.
Dwayne, you
for
name the
excellent
time.
work you've been putting in, and also so you can like hang it on your above your wife's head. Be like, look, I'm a paid inker. So, gotta let you win. You gotta win an argument every once in a while with the wife. I feel like she wins most of them, all of them. So we need to give you a little ammo to keep going. Yeah. Oh yeah. I was Aaron's first commission. I got a free Captain Britain head sketch out of it too.
That's awesome.
I can't believe. First of all, that damn thing came from England and didn't get bent. I don't know what miracle that was.
Yeah, and I've had
But
ones that I've shipped. Well, then it's to Iowa. They got bent.
they have one truck. Yeah.
What don't bend mean?
Oh yeah. Hello Field. Scoot is known for his rendering. He says it's the fun part. Like that's not even the hard part to you, right?
It is the fun part. Like I hope what you can see. I know I'm kind of zoomed out, but let me zoom in a bit. I hope you can tell. Like, you can see there's a leg under there. So
Oh, you can. It's like those. Have you ever seen those?
yes,
like,
I know exactly what you're
I
talking
think they're
about.
either Greek or maybe it was Renaissance when they were coming back, where they were making the statues that looked like they had wet clothes, so that
Yeah,
you could
and I
see
love
all
that
the
stuff.
muscle. And it's just like, you did that carving.
But this is
something?
the stuff that I like.
Yeah.
Like, and I think this comes again. We talked about it last week when we were looking at a lot of my old artwork. I still have a piece of old artwork if y'all want to see it. But
Oh, no one does. I don't know. Did Esquivo see it? Maybe he'll unfollow. You can get unfollowed.
but we talked about how I went through an era where I basically was just doing realism, and I think that's why I like rendering, why I like doing shadows, and because you can get away in comics with not doing heavy rendering. There's artists out there that don't do the heavy rendering, and it looks amazing. But for me, I just think it adds that extra bit, and it also adds my style. Like Esquivo, that was, I don't know, he may still be in the chat if he's not. But anyway, his style is very similar to mine. He loves the heavy rendering, the hash
detail.
lines, the heavy detail. And it's not like that we're doing it because it needs it. It's just that's kind of what our style has grown into, and you almost can't help it.
I was gonna use him as an example too, is because when he posts stuff, I'm just like, as a non-artist, my brain struggles with it sometimes. Not like it doesn't make sense. It always does. I'm just like, how can one man put that much detail into something? And he could probably get away with, stuff in the deep background not having that kind. I see it all the time in comics where it's just a blank matte, just like a flat color. But at the same time, it looks so good, and it looks good. Now there's a difference. Some people will clutter a page.
Yeah.
And there's a difference in that. Like,
there
I'm
definitely
looking at
is.
your Absolute Carnage piece right now, and the bottom is extremely busy, but you don't lose anything in it, and that's what's important. You can still see the main character. Gabe doesn't like.
Yeah, the Top Cow style. That's for sure, man. Michael Turner is my biggest influence, and even Michael Turner didn't do really heavy rendering. David Finch is where I got the rendering from. But and as much as I love Michael Turner, David Finch's art is what convinced me almost to get back into comic art, because I saw this guy is drawing comic art like I wanted to do when I was little, but he's drawing it almost in a more realistic way like I'm doing currently, and it really like meshed my two worlds together.
Yeah, and that's, especially on a comic page. The comic pages have flow, so you don't want to lose them. And like Gabe, he posts up those pictures. Like, it's never like, oh, who this is. You see Spidey first, and then you see everything with it, and so it's still got the focus it needs. That's something like, I can see it, I can appreciate it, but I can't do it, and that's of course different.
And another thing I like too, you can kind of tell, like in this part of the dress, everything is kind of has a very sharp tapered line. I love that kind of sleek, almost wet look. I love rim shadows. I think if you guys know who Ken Marion is, he has that really kind of stylistic, kind of almost everything looks wet type of look, and I love that style. I love that clean look.
And that works well for this series because they're in spacesuits half the time, and when they're not, they're in glossy clothes or leather jackets.
It's sleek. Yep.
Yeah, so, and then you get to draw like Watney, and Watney's a big silver ship.
And I really look forward to drawing them in their spacesuits again, because it's basically, again, drawing naked people is the easiest.
Yeah.
So it's basically drawing naked people with some seam lines, and I love it.
Yeah, I guess you play to strength. I've always heard you, a good thing is to know your artist and play to their strengths. And I guess Scoot and I have just been creating together so long, I just don't even think about it. A fun thing. So early on, when I wrote the first couple of scripts of the Atlas Beetle, I wrote them a long form, first of all, in a notepad, like a maniac. I had Google Drive. I don't know why I didn't just do it on there. Why I didn't just do it in any kind of program that ever existed. But I wrote them out long form. And when I did, like when I think of a page or action, I break it down. You always got to keep in mind where to end the action on the page so that it ends at an organic point, but also so it picks up with more speed. It's almost like running up a hill. You have to peter out at a certain point and then come down off the hill with a little extra steam. And when you come down with the right amount of steam, it just flows. So it's almost like a roller coaster. And I think about that. And so I'll think about panel layout and stuff, and I'll draw them out as I'm writing. Scoot never needs to see that. And my God, the first 3 issues, I drew out every panel suggestion layout and gave them to him. And actually, what stopped me is I read Brian Michael Bendis' word for pictures, where he said he did the same thing to Mark Bagley, and Mark Bagley was just too much of a gentleman to tell him to stop doing it. So he did it almost their entire run. And you shouldn't do that. 1, because it's stifling to Scoot, and 2, you're the writer, stay in your lane. And so every once in a while, I'll have an idea, like issue 4 of B Movie Saga has a scene where they're repairing Watney, and I had a very clear idea of how it should look. And so I suggest how a page should be laid out. Now, that doesn't mean Scoot needs to stick to it completely. He can still change it, but it's still like, when I have a good enough idea, I'll maybe draw a little picture and fight for that idea, and then he can take his artistic eye and change it to where it needs to be. We'll bring Bear for Lisa. We'll bring Midna and Tetra in and sneak them up there.
Brad wears the dress. Aaron said he'd wear the dress, and then Ayashi said so that we could sell out of B Movie Saga #1.
Right.
You wear the dress.
Dude, you seen my quads. I would rock that dress to hell and back. Woo!
To hell and back, and then back to hell.
I would tear it up.
There's also no shame.
Yeah. My shame died in middle school, so that's one of those things. Like, people try to say something to embarrass us, they're like, "Don't do it. Don't play chicken if you're not gonna jump off the cliff, because I'm going."
Yeah. Can I just call you Gabe, or do you want to go by Esquivo? If you want to go by one or the other, let me know.
Tell us what to call you.
But Gabe, you're right, and I say this a lot. Brad jokes and says, come for the art, stay for the art is our motto. But I'm telling you, when people read his writing, they're gonna understand why I get so excited. And I'm hoping, even though again this is just a little 8-page story we're working on, I'm hoping it gets people pumped for the first issue or first arc, because that's probably what'll happen. It'll be that first arc, and then we'll release it all together. But man, when I read issue 2, I came back to him and I was like, dude, this may be one of the best things I ever wrote or ever read. And it's not even a joke.
It's a solid middle act. Like,
Yeah.
it's I think it went well.
I got super hyped. Like, I got goosebumps thinking about it, actually.
And
Like,
what that issue, actually, I wrote it and then completely deleted it and started over because it wasn't working. It didn't, like, I was just struggling through it. And that's what you got to do sometimes. You got to, same as you, I mean, same as this one, you've got this whole discarded picture over here that, I mean, what is that, at least like 35% done? I mean, it's good way done.
I
but
mean,
you didn't
Collins
like
is
it.
basically done in it.
And sometimes you got to dump the crap out of your head so that the gold is there. And so that's what I did with B Movie Saga 2, and it really worked out, I think. And it'll be fun. I just hope that if it gets popular, the Fratellis take it for the compliment it is.
Yeah.
They took my comics.
Yeah, so the name B Movie Saga comes from a Fratelli song.
It's a B-side from their Lookout Sunshine
So,
single.
but just in case, if we release this and we get a cease and desist, first of all, awesome, we're gonna frame it.
Oh yeah.
I
would still listen to them every day too.
Yep. But we have a backup name just in case. So, and we won't say that just because we don't want somebody to take it, because it's a good name. So
Yeah, we've had backup names.
we got a backup name just in case. You never know.
Which story are you talking about, Bear? The if you're talking about the first arc of B Movie Saga, yeah, it's just in the B Movie Saga folder. It's issue 1, 2, and 3. Issue 4 is incomplete, so don't read it. All right, see you later, Corey. I'm sure we'll talk. We'll get a text from you at 2 a.m.
Yep. See you, man. You guys all tell Corey good night. I mean, he doesn't sleep, but tell him good night.
Yeah. So I've been waking up at 4:30 to go work out every morning. So my sleep schedule is completely different, and I've got to power through stuff. And all I can think is, like, Corey does this every day with less sleep.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's some kind of monster. He's got some kind of superpower, and I don't know if it's a good one or not. But
Yeah.
he makes it work. Also, pretty sure is getting paid at John Deere to ink. Yeah, my hope is that people read this, and like I said, I got a couple of comics in the pipe that hopefully will all be out by the end of the year, and I hope it'll get me enough rep that I can talk to artists and pitch them ideas, and they'd be like, yeah, I'm into that, let's do this. Because right now, like, Scoot, even though he doesn't have any published things, he's got enough art out there for people to see, to have a reputation. And I mean, if I was an artist and some dude came up and was like, hey, I've written stuff nobody's produced, you should work with me, and I'd be like, I'm a little hesitant, so hopefully I can get stuff out there. And that's, I mean, the main reason I paid Scoot is, 1, because he's working and he's providing artwork for me, but 2, it's also so I can go, hey, I'm not Andrew Rev. I made a commitment to pay these artists, and I pay them, and it's not a lot. I'm not paying them a ton, but I can say that with utmost confidence and honesty. And that way, if anybody ever,
You said Andrew Rev, and a few people in here almost left.
yeah, I almost left.
That guy.
Yeah, so it's that's what I want, because I mean, I've always got story ideas. I've got stuff. Just sit around and come up with stuff that doesn't need. That I have, like, okay, you got to refocus. Like, for a while I was writing like 6 or 7 different series for fun, thinking I was Brian Michael Bendis writing every series you could think of, and I dialed it back to where right now I'm really focusing on 3. I'm working on B Movie Saga with Scoot, working on a story with my friend Dale, and then another story called Wilder Talents with a friend. And
Any update on that one?
yeah, she actually, I was talking to her, and she's like getting all her, she's got a con season getting cut short, but she was committed to finishing that thing for the end of the year, and she's gonna start getting me character designs and stuff so I can start promoting it.
Awesome.
Oh man, Esquivo, were you part of?
Oh yeah, he was.
That guy, the day I got banned by him, like he blocked me on Twitter, was great.
Yeah, so with that guy, I spent an hour on the phone with him, and I wasn't sure. And it's one of those things that, like, I can understand why people got sucked into it, because man, you wanna do it for a living so bad, and somebody's finally saying, "Yeah, I'm going to give you that opportunity," and you want to take it. I sat on the phone with him for an hour by myself the first time, and I was like, man, it sounds kind of weird. I was like, but maybe it's something. So we set up another call, and Brad was on that call with me. And holy shit! After what was that? 2 hours, man. It was 2 hours. We literally probably said a sentence apiece.
I forget what it's called. It's like backtracking or something. It's a type of speech where if I say, "Hey, Scoot, I did this," you know what I mean? Or okay. And it's where you make everything a question. And I lost count at like 75 in the first 30 minutes. Like he was
trying to impress us with his repertoire.
And then clearly, like, I'm the talker of the two of us. I like to sit and talk. I will talk. Like I said, I can't keep my mouth shut underwater. But I couldn't get a word in on the guy. We would try to stop him, and even like oh yeah, but, and then he would just keep full head of steam. And within 30 minutes, he was a scumbag trying to convince you he wasn't, trying to tell you that he wasn't. He was like the devil trying to convince you he had your best interest at heart. And then when he finally let us talk, or like he asked us, I remember he was like we were pulling stuff up on the computer, talking to him, and I was like, this guy doesn't know about comics. He doesn't know about comics. I know he had some influence, or he did some stuff in the 90s or something, but he is so out of the loop on modern comics. It was breathtaking, like how little he understood. And I was like, no, I know comics. I read comics every week. I buy new comics. I buy old comics. I buy trades. I talk to writers. I talk to everything. Like I'm immersed in comic culture, and this guy has no idea. And I remember he's like,
"Yeah, he's a
wouldn't
piece
that be
of
a cool
shit."
idea? And I was like, even when he was telling us some story ideas, I was like, hey, that's not original. Why don't we come up with original ideas? That's what's fun. Like Dragon Rage that Page One is doing. Excellent, fun story. It's a sword and sorcery, high fantasy. But they have their own ideas, they have their own characters, they're building their own world. It's not like, let's rehash all this stuff. I mean, basically he just wanted to do Thor, but a different take on Thor. And I'm like, why? Because you want to put
And it was literally called Thor.
Yeah. Oh man, he got you on Supreme too. I know Daniel Erm was working on that, which Daniel Erm is, in this little comic community, I know he is crazy good. Wow, I love his art. I love, the only thing better than his art is his love for Sleeper.
Yeah. The avocado.
Yeah, he said he was having a bad day once, so I drew a marker version of him. He's like, "This made my day, thank you." Yeah. But yeah, I remember talking to him. I was just like, "Hey man, like I'd be interested if you gave me like a overview. I'd write like a 5-page pitch to you about a story or something, and we could see if I want to write, and me and Scoot could be a team for you." And then he's like, "Tell me about some of your stories," and I'm like, well, and I started kind of describing a few, very loosely describing the Atlas Beetle and B Movie Saga, and he's like, "Yeah, man, if you want to work them into this universe, the Terrific Verse, or what," I was like, "Dude, I was not offering you my characters. You better back the hell up." Like, I was just saying, giving you an idea of what I was working on, and that guy was I was glad that finally people started railing against him, because he got so many people, and I was just, Scoot and I remember we talked about it for a long time afterwards. And I was just like, dude, look, I was like, I don't know. It could be something, but it just doesn't feel right. And Scoot's like, yeah, it does not.
And then, yeah, I turned him down, and he kept contacting me. And he was like, look, I don't want you to do a book. First of all, he said I wasn't ready to do a book with humans in it. And I thought that was pretty fucked up. And I was like, man, I've done a lot of work. And he kept saying, doesn't it feel bad that Marvel doesn't want to hire you? And I'm sitting here wanting to hire. I said, I've never even talk to anybody at Marvel. Like, why would you even bring that up? So he kept saying, okay, well, we're just going to have you do a cover. I'll have you do a series of 8 covers, but we're going to have you try out for it first. I was like, bitch, I don't need to try out for your covers. So I sent him a long message telling him what I thought of him. And then he messaged me back a few months later, was like, hey, I know you said some stuff to me that wasn't really true, but I'm willing to give you another chance. I don't see anybody else giving you a chance. And I said, dude, I don't want to work with you. I don't want to talk to you. I was like, I want nothing to do with you. And then that was when everybody had, you know, Gabe and Daniel and all you guys had been coming out about him not paying. I was like, dude, you've got all these artists that are amazing artists, not even just amazing artists, just like amazing people that I've kind of gotten to know a little bit over the like last couple of years. And I've watched them grow, and I was like, but you're treating them like shit, man. It's not even the payment part, man. You're treating them like not human. And I was like, I can't get behind that. And finally he left me alone. I do still have his phone number just in case I ever want to do something stupid to him. But
yeah, I like when you were like, because you sent a long message that he apparently couldn't comprehend because that man's English, his grasp of English was rough.
Oh, it was awful.
And like half of his things sounded like a bot or like somebody having a seizure. Like when our dad had a stroke, he made more sense. Like, and so I don't know, man. And that's the thing is talking about that is like, I mostly know all these people through you. You know, you started building a community and we all kind of hang out together. But like, I like all these people. Yeah. They're all fun. We're all nice. We all take, you know, some of them are getting gigs now, and it's super cool.
Awesome.
None of us are ever like, oh my god, I can't believe Daniel Arm's getting to color Death Shroud. It should have been me, or should have been Iker. Like, we're like, yeah, you got a gig, sweet. Like, we're all super.
Yeah, pumped. When he got on Death Shroud, coloring Death Shroud.
Yeah, and now like, but he brought so much negativity to it. I'm just like, come on, man. Like,
Gabe also right before the stream, I was tuning in to the Page One comic stream, and I saw that Jimmy Reyes was inking one of your pictures, man. That's super hype.
Oh, that's super cool.
Super hype.
I've been trying to tune into Page One because they're doing the same thing as I was talking about. They're building a fun little community of people.
Jimmy Reyes was awesome. I've been following him for a while.
Yeah, he Daddy Deathstroke. But
God, why there?
But yeah, they do a lot of fun stuff, and talking to Dave Philpott on Instagram has been super fun. And that's comics, like I say, it's one of the things where I talk about people yelling, like going into comic shops and people are yelling about what they like and don't like. And I'm like, it's cool to talk about your different preferences, but we're such a subculture of nerds. Like, why are we alienating? And so I mean, that's what I like is, you know, people mentoring and taking people under the wing, or just hyping up, even just when you posted your Absolute Carnage and what Stegman was just like, that's rad or something.
Yeah, he
like,
just said, wow.
Yeah. And then everybody comments like, that's super cool, you know. Yeah. It's a time like
that's the picture that got me noticed. Yeah,
I remember your phone blowing up for like a month.
My phone died because we were out when people started messaging me.
When was that? That was 2019.
18. I quit writing dates on my artwork. Pretty sure that was 18.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, well, I've only gotten to tune into a few, but like, I love Page One because they're like, oh, they engage with all the crowd, you know, like they mess around, joke around, and I watched them. I was like, I'm actually gonna watch this stream and take notes and see how Scoot and I can improve. And they opened up and spent like the first 30 minutes just quoting Ghostbusters. I was like, okay, Scoot and I are on the right track. Yeah. Just talking about what was one of our streams. The final like hour and a half was just all of us talking about the Transformers '86 cartoon,
which is coming back in theaters, baby.
Oh yeah, that's what we need to do. Big first Brood Studios meeting. We're all just gonna go see that.
I need to get my my Patreon going.
Yeah,
not that I think it'll lead to anything huge, but
it's always a fun idea.
Somebody suggested that I make a Discord. I've never been a fan of Discord. Like, I hate the layout of it, but maybe I will, because I mean that'd be a cool place for people to interact when we're not streaming. Especially since we were all just kind of talking shit about Mario Kart, or talking shit in Mario Kart and
Splatoon. That was just us, not everybody.
Dwayne was in there talking about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dwayne was in there talking about it, and pretty sure I think it might have been Aaron that said something about Splatoon.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's one of those things where, like, right now I get messages on Facebook Messenger, through Instagram, through Twitter, through iMessage. I'm just like, yeah, I wish we could consolidate. But so Discord's just one more that we don't need to.
Was the Abscarn piece 2019? Shit, I
thought so,
don't
'cause
remember.
I thought it was
Maybe
when
it
I
was.
was in, because after you started doing that was when I was in Japan, and you're like blowing my phone up about us starting weekly meetings, and we started doing them. Or, yeah, should have been.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
even
We'd have to
remember
look.
that. Damn, I feel like it was longer than that, but maybe it wasn't.
Maybe it was 18.
I guess.
don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's right because the last convention was 2019,
Oh,
and we
okay.
had it at MCU. Or
I remember
MCX.
somebody came. I was like, "All right, well, you're gonna have to put a not for sale sign on it." But if somebody comes over and they're like, "Hey, I'll buy that for $4,000," be like, "Paper plastic. What, you want me to carry it to your car?
Yeah,
Walk around the table for your complimentary hand job. Like, what do you want?"
come on around.
Yeah,
Commence to jiggling.
yeah. So I miss conventions. Because where we talked about the community is, that's what we loved. I remember getting in there and like some dude came in there and besmirched our Lord and Savior Jonathan Hickman, and I was just like, So we sat there and talked about it for a while and talked about it. He's like, maybe I need to reread this. I was like, you do, reread the scripture.
Dude, I remember when we first went to the convention in 2017, and man, we had no clue how it was gonna go. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, how's this gonna go, man? Are people even gonna show up to the table? Are they gonna like anything we're doing?
Yeah.
Man, we had so much fun. Minus the whole having to ink B Movie Saga the last day.
Yeah, on your stupid little pieces of plastic that had holes in
I
it.
still have them, man.
I
Fuck you.
hate them.
I still
it's-
have them.
Yeah, Scoot used to ink on these. What were they, like inserts from a display at
Yeah,
Target?
just some white
And
plastic.
they were
casing.
light and sturdy, but they had holes in it. So like he could be inking and puncture his paper. And so for Christmas that year,
I never
bought him
did, by the way.
I did though.
Because Brad, being the writer, that man jumped in and helped
I-
do some inking duties.
Because it doesn't matter what you do in comics. Like I said, I used to think comics was a lot like throwing an alley-oop. You know, you pass it around and you set somebody up and they dunk the hell out of it. But comics is like rowing a boat. Because I can't just give Scoot a script and walk away. Even if I wasn't lettering like I am right now, you just have to keep rowing or the team falls behind. And so, you know, I think probably the best thing we ever did was get Corey and Iker and into it, because I mean, we
Yes.
slacked off for about a half a year on this, and since we got them involved, we've been working on it hard because we don't want to fall behind. We don't want to let them down.
Yeah.
Positive peer pressure and accountability.
Don't want to let myself down either. Plus, I don't want to. Oh God, I don't want to spend the rest of my life in retail.
Yeah, but being like a psychic vampire extrovert where I feed off of people's energy, I miss conventions because there's just like 2 to 3 days of just like mingling with folks, talking about comics, talking about whatever comes up, getting people to do commissions, being like a carnival barker for you.
Yeah.
Like I'd come home and have to drink tea with honey to like heal my voice for the next run. I mean, great stuff. Go back to work then Monday and like,
Just being sad.
dude, I got my 2 weeks filled out. Let's do it. Just tell me to hit the button. Like,
do it.
yeah. We'll get back there.
Yeah.
Until then, like, that's what originally we were going to try to have B Movie Saga 2 done early September. That's what we did, so we could, or before, like, I guess mid-August really, so we could work on the print and everything and get it published, get it printed. Published makes it seem like we got somebody backing us. We're gonna get it printed and everything, and then the Memphis Comic Expo got canceled. So I told Iker, take his time. We still want to finish by September if possible, but also if he wants a little extra time to tweak some stuff, he's good. It's not as bad. And I remember distinctly telling you to finish the 2-page spread before the Aspen cover.
I'm sorry,
You
man.
straight ignored me.
I tried. I tried.
No,
man.
yeah, I
I tried
understand.
so hard. All I could see was that deadline getting closer.
Yeah. Dude, you're not wrong, Aaron, man. When you've got to have somebody like that, you don't want to be annoying. You don't want to be at your booth like, come into our booth, man, we got all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. But you got to engage people, man. And
that's what we did.
that's the fun of it, man. Like, why? I see so many people there. I guess I know it's extroverts, so I probably shouldn't, or introverts, so I probably shouldn't be hard on them. But there's still people who I know aren't like that, who are just kind of sitting at the table. Kayla, KF, who's drawing Wilder Talents for me, she is super introverted and shy. But when she gets there, she's up. She's talking to people, you know, asking them what they like. What do they want to commission? What can they do? Cutting them deals, chatting them up. I mean, it's probably mentally exhausting for her. As to me, where it's like mentally refreshing,
Yeah.
and she still does it because she knows what she has to do at conventions. And there's some, like I said, so many people there. Oh, I about made my booth money back, so that's fine. I'm just like, we're over here like,
We're over here
rolling
like
egg, like
throwing dollar bills because
think-
let's face it, we're not getting hundreds. But
Oh yeah, but I mean, I think the last in 2019, yeah, because that was when we did the Absolute Carnage prints. I made my money back on those prints, and in the first 2 hours, like
yeah,
we made it back. So it's, I mean, we're not running out of there and going and buying motorcycles, but
not yet.
you know, I don't know. Oh man, if Aaron, if we had you there with that British accent,
We'll be swatting the women away.
yeah, I wouldn't have to wear a tank top there. Draw folks in. Yeah, it's just be personable, be kind. You know, like I said, I stopped one dude because he had a sweet pair of slip-on red checkered Vans, and I was like, "Hey, man, I never seen those before. I got a bunch of Vans. Where'd you get those from?" He's like, "Oh, you got a special order." I was like, "All right, well, Vans.com. Yeah, Vans.com. Okay, cool. Oh, what you guys got over here? My brother does art. Come and check it out." Like, you know, some dude had the David Finch piece. I was like, "Uh-oh,
You gotta let me see that, bro.
bring it over here. Let's take a look." He's like, "Whoa, it looks like you study Finch." And Scoot's like, "Of course I do." You know.
Gabe, if you're still in here, I don't know if you've ever met David Finch, but it was the best moment of my life. Maybe second. Well, it's kind of hard to say. I say meeting Michael Turner will forever be memorable, but I was so
Yeah.
little, I wasn't. You know, He was like, "Man, you want to be a comic artist? That's cool, man. Keep drawing. You'll be up
Super
here with
nice
me
guy.
one day." And yeah, super nice. Like such a horrible loss, but meeting David Finch and have him tell me that my art was good, dude. I don't get nervous for anything.
Scoot had the
I was
anime
nervous.
like Naruto-kun
Dude,
shyness
I
going
was
on.
I
It
was doing
awesome.
the finger poke
Yeah,
thing.
that's
Dude, I was nervous.
And
But I was about to have my current comic idol looking at my artwork. And I gave him a print, and he tried to give me my print that I just bought for him for free. I was like, "No, man, it's cool. It's cool." So he has a print of the Absolute Carnage picture in his house somewhere, unless he threw it away.
I doubt he does that. He probably keeps everything.
Yeah, he was so nice, man. So encouraging.
Just like when Hayashi mails me all of his Atlas Beetle artwork, I'm gonna keep it. Which Hayashi, I might repost one of that for some of my weekly stuff because I love fan art and I love your art. It'd be a cool little cross promotion thing, but might do that for a Tuesday, Thursday post sometime in the near future. Throw up one of your Atlas Beetle ones. They are definitely awesome. Still gotta, whenever he sets up his Venmo, I've got to pick. I guess we were talking about doing one of the clones, Kane or Ben Riley, Kane Parker or Ben Riley. Get him to draw it every year on the year.
Yep.
Just have it, well, have a book. Ben Riley through the ages. Starts getting to where it's just like this looming panic where he's just like, "Oh God, I gotta draw it
November
again."
10th is coming up. People are like, "What's that?" It's like Brad Day.
It's Aaron said that David Finch keeps your print on the fridge.
I hope
like
so.
a proud dad.
I hope so. Dude, I tell you, like, again, I don't get nervous. The most nervous that I've probably been up to that point was the first time somebody told me or asked me to draw something on the spot. I was always nervous about that.
I pushed you into that. I was like, "Do it."
Yeah, I was terrified because obviously I know I can draw, but when I'm at home, if I mess up, I can just fuck it, let me start over. But that is nowhere near the nerves I had when I was about to present David Finch artwork. Because originally, when Brad and I went up to him, I didn't take any artwork with me because we were running a booth, and you know,
We
I
had very little time
we had
away.
very little time. Yeah, we didn't need to be away long. But then I said, "Yeah, man, I'm an artist." He's like, "You got a booth?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's over there." He's like, "Why don't you bring me some art over?" I was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
okay, master."
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yes, sir. I'll be over. Yes, sir. God bless.
I
Like,
brought him.
bowed.
I brought him the Absolute Carnage pencils because I had them framed at my booth because it's still one of the best pieces I've ever done. But I brought him that, and then I brought him the Sauron Sinister piece that I worked on for what felt like months.
Oh my god.
But I brought him that, and man, gave him a print.
You worked on that Sinister Sauron so long, Hayashi threatened to not come back to streams.
You
Like,
know-
he's like, come on, guys.
You know, I finally delivered that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Sweet. How do you like it?
I loved it.
I mean, it was a beautiful piece.
Yeah, he loved it because he also got the Batman Who Laughs head sketch that I
Oh
did.
man, laugh man.
Laugh man who
Uh,
sketch. Laugh man who sketches.
Yeah. I think I'd be that. I am absolutely pumped. So I Twitter stalked Christos Gage, who is some of my favorite writers. I love Jonathan Hickman. I love Brian Michael Bendis. I mean, God, there's so many writers. I can't even get into them all. But Christos Gage, him and Christopher Yost, Scarlet Spider run with Kane Parker, and then Christos Gage's Avengers Academy run are what got me back into buying single issue comics. Because before then, I just buy trades every once in a while, and that's what full blown just got me into it. And ever since then, man, if you've never read a Christos Gage comic, I read a G.I. Joe comic by him, and as much as Dwayne is a fan, I'm not a fan of G.I. Joe, but he does such good things. Like his tie-in to Civil War II with Spider-Man was about like a super C-list villain, and it was just incredible. He takes what he's given and just makes magic. And I stalked him enough where he finally told me he was, I asked him about getting an autograph, and he said, well, I'm not doing any con appearances anytime soon, of course. He said, but if you send him to this comic shop, I'll pick it up, sign it for you, and send it back for free. And I was like, what? So I've got that packed up, and I got to ship it off soon. But also, I know he lives somewhere within driving distance of that comic shop now. So I guess I know where I'm taking my vacation.
That's hilarious. When you find someone like that that can be an idol, you know,
Yeah.
like, and then that's one thing I love about the comic community for the most part. Like everybody's super cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's as many times as I've tagged other artists and stuff, and you know they retweet it and stuff. And I've kind of gotten away from that because I feel like I'm trying to use them for their retweets. But
Sure.
you know, every time I still have because Ryan Stegman follows me on Instagram. Let's just get that out there. You know, when he likes something that I do on Instagram, you know, it kind of just helps you reassure that you're going in the right direction. So
Yeah. And
that's always rad.
that's like Christos Gage. I wish I had a less than stalker relation. It's definitely one-sided on Twitter. But also because I think his stuff's great, so I always post just to spread the word, you know, or
Yeah.
you know, like you said, the same reason you like hearing compliments. Like somebody was like, who's a writer who you'll buy a comic no matter what they write? And I tagged Christos Gage, and I was like, and I did the thing, I was like, that guy wrote a G.I. Joe comic, and I read it. I don't even like G.I. Joe. And, you know, like, he was like, oh, thank you very much. I'm like, I'm sure that feels good, you know?
Yeah.
Comic, there's so much, like, hate sometimes that, like, as soon as, like, Donny Cates got popular and then it became cool to hate on him, you're like, no, he still makes fun comics. His comics are fine. Like, and so I'm sure even him, who he has almost a cult following, I'm sure it's still nice to hear compliments. Everybody likes compliments. So
Yeah, for sure.
it's, but now
It means what keeps you going.
now I'll just comment on Dave Philpott stuff all the time, and hopefully he'll take me under his wing. He'll call me Grasshopper or something.
So we're running on 2 hours here, so I'll probably and Collins is almost done actually. I'm pretty darn close, but so I'll call it here.
Might pick it up some more later on another stream, or might do
Yeah, for
something
sure.
else.
I'll probably just keep drawing this on stream, because I think it'll be a fun one. But so I'll zoom in. We'll kind of look at it, and
We're always looking for new stuff to do, just to keep, you know, we don't want
Where's that?
to. We pull a topic out of a hat. He
Those
would
are
get
fun.
2 minutes to look at it, and he had 5 minutes to draw. And I think we might do that again because it was a lot of fun. Granted, we can't play. Last time we played copyrighted music and sang along. Can't do that on YouTube, but I think that would be another fun one because also, gosh, some of those sold. Like people bought them off of you. 5 minutes to make like $20. You know, that's not bad at all. So we might do that again. If you ever got ideas or something you think we should do or something we shouldn't do, like show Wonder Woman 2014 again, you know, just let us know because We live and die by our viewers.
We got
And
an error here.
oh, it did start spinning the wheel.
Yeah. He was not receiving video. You guys let me know if it's skipping. It looks like it maybe. I don't know. I got an error on YouTube. That's okay. We're kind of wrapping this up anyway. Oh, still got this up.
Thanks, John. Oh,
Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, still got that up. The camera turned, so.
because you show them all.
Oh, that's right. Okay, maybe. Okay, that error's gone now, so maybe we're good. Yeah, I definitely want to do a page layout process. And I could even maybe at the beginning of one of the shows do one for like a non-spoiler B Movie Saga page, because I keep all my sketches and everything that I do 4 pages, and you can I have the ones where Brad and I have gone through and thumbnailed everything, and so
Yeah,
that would be fun to just kind of show.
Yeah, we have the thumbnail 1, 2, and 3 of B Movie Saga. We found that out as thumbnail with people, and you'll learn a lot. You work through the script together, I guess,
For
whatever
sure.
form that takes.
For sure. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I haven't shown that I can show before we go. I usually been showing stuff at the end, so
I think the only new piece you did we can't show yet.
yeah.
The
'Cause it's a
should have a full color reveal of the Aspen cover soon.
very soon, yeah. So, the last Aspen live that happened, Frank said that he would let me know before he does that live. He does lives every Tuesday, updating on the Kickstarter stuff. So he said he'd give us a heads up so that I can have people. Oh God, I can have people tune in.
Gabe, I did enter that writing contest. I did not win. Which is I deserve not to win. It was not my best work, and it was we talked about it last time. It was a super fun exercise to learn and have to work with other people's characters. But yeah, you want to put in a good word. He's talking about mentoring people and working with them. I will take any help, any. Yeah, it's solid. Art, story, pacing, color, everything. Fantastic.
Oh, it looks like it's freezing again. Oh, there we go. Excellent connection. Maybe there's just too much happening right now.
Might just be we need to chill out.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll call it there, guys.
Yeah.
But thanks for everybody for tuning in. It was cool. Gabe, it was great having you. It's always good having everybody.
Iker came in.
Yeah. Don, Jacob, Jingleheimer Schmidt. So anyway, we'll see all you guys. If you haven't liked the video, please like the video. That would be super cool. If you haven't followed me, follow me. Whole bunch of places. We're not cowards, Corey. Maybe we are. We just don't want to spoil anything, man. Damn.
Yeah. Spoilers are a real danger.
Yep. Spoilers are a real danger, especially for an 8-page story.
Yeah. You don't have a lot of real estate to not spoil.
So, yep. We will post up. Next time we'll go live. We're trying to do it every week. We're getting there. Sometimes it feels like it's longer because I'll do one on a Sunday and then not do one, till the fall or the next Thursday or something. So, but we're trying to do it every week. So, but until then, we'll see all you guys next time. Again, the music that you're about to hear from Dwayne, from King Duppy. I put his link in the description. If you guys like that kind of music, go hit him up. He's about to drop a new album. It's gonna be super rad. So until then. Peace on. Holla, bro.